Play that tambourine, Mr. Tambourine Man. Woo! Gonna make a mountain move when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. I believe in you. I believe in me. We believe in each other. There ain't nothing you can do. Na, 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 na.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Elevate. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. So now that we've heard a few groovy, funky rhythms and sounds from the Elevate Trio, let us transition into our meditation time. Transition into the opportunity to start slowing down, to allow ourselves to arrive. Allow ourselves the opportunity to let go of everything that has come before, right here, right now. And as the Elevate Trio slowly starts to offer a beautiful soundscape that creates more opportunity to travel and open up to whatever it is that is ours to experience, I invite you, if you haven't already, to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Whatever it is that is supporting you in letting go of any visual distractions vying for your attention. And so as we continue to arrive in each now moment, as we allow ourselves to become more fully present right here, right now, I invite you to just do a quick head-to-toe scan. And just get curious about what's going on in the body, what's going on in the mind. No judgment or criticism, just simple noticing of how you're arriving in each now moment. Knowing that everything is okay, all is welcome, and that every now moment is an opportunity to begin anew. And so as we continue arriving, as we continue letting go, I invite you to shift your attention to the breath, noticing how it moves in and out through your nostrils, in and out through the lungs, perhaps noticing the rise and fall of the belly or the chest, and simply allowing yourself to settle into this rhythm of in and out, in and out, in and out. And as we continue arriving, as we continue becoming more fully aware and present in each now moment, I invite you to continue letting go of your body, of your physical presence, and just allow yourself to be breathed. Allow yourself to be lived, to be known, to be loved into being. And so as we continue beginning anew in each now moment, before we move into some uninterrupted meditation, I offer you this quote from Pablo Coelho from The Alchemist. If you can concentrate always on the present, you'll be happy. Life will be a party for you, a grand festival, because life is the moment we're living right now. Once again, if you can concentrate always on the present, you'll be happy. Life will be a party for you, a grand festival, because life is the moment we're living right now. So as we move into about 15 minutes of uninterrupted meditation, as we move into this beautiful opportunity to be held in the sounds and rhythms and creativity and artistry of the Elevate Trio, I invite us all to open up to whatever it is that is being stirred, whatever it is that is being activated within, and simply notice. Allow yourself the gift of being curious. And allow yourself the blessing of being fully present right here, right now. So here we go, about 15 minutes of uninterrupted meditation. gently invite you to start bringing your attention back to your physical presence, allowing yourself to still feel the immersion of the Elevate Trio and this beautiful soundscape. And as you continue becoming more physically aware, and becoming more aware of your body and the skin that you're in, becoming more aware of the clothes you're in and the seat that you're in, becoming more aware of the environment around you and the space you're taking up. And as we continue becoming more physically aware in each now moment, I offer you this quote from Pablo Cardenas once again. If you can concentrate always on the present, you'll be happy. Life will be a party for you, a grand festival, because life is the moment we're living right now. So as we move into the rest of our time together tonight, into the coming hours, days, and weeks ahead, I invite you to continue opening up to the party that life can be, the grand festival of each now moment, knowing that all it takes from you is to become more aware, more fully present, to be right here, right now. So now, if comfortable, I invite you to plant your feet firmly on the ground. I invite you to lengthen your spine. Feel free to stand if you wish. Extend your arms out by your sides with your palms facing upward. And just take a few moments to notice, to revel in, to bask in all of this energy, this beauty, this dynamism, this artistry that is alive and well and whirling and swirling all around. Knowing that that same vitality and potentiality, that same enthusiasm is alive and well and active within. And now I invite you to scoop it all up, up, up above your head, pressing your palms and fingertips together. And then gently bring it all down, mindfully, purposefully, intentionally, joyfully, and lovingly, all down into your heart. Enjoying a moment of gratitude and appreciation, perhaps deepened connection or expanded awareness, and maybe even some grace. And so let us finish off our meditation with 3 nourishing, life-affirming breaths together. First breath in, and release, letting it all out. Returning back to your natural breath. Second, deep, nourishing, life-affirming breath in. Here we go. And release. Returning back to your natural breath. And with this third breath, I invite you to receive the biggest, most nourishing, life-affirming breath in yet. Here we go. And at the top, hold. Taking in an extra sip if you can. And just be. And release. returning back to your natural breath. I am so grateful for your time and presence and for everything that comes next. Namaste. So take a few more moments to come back into your body. I invite you to stand up and move around a little bit. Take a sip of some water or tea if you have some. Walk around the room a little bit. Get reconnected with the environment. And then when you're ready and have opened your eyes, and if you feel like it, I invite you to find someone nearby and share one thing that came up for you during that meditation as we transition into some more music from the Elevate Trio. Thank you. Elevate Trio, Mr. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Dowse electric bass, and Kelby MacNayr on the drums and all of the percussion instruments. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Always such a delight. And welcome, everyone, to Elevate here at the Victoria Truth Center. And just before I go on and talk about our theme for the month, I just want to ask, is there anyone here for the first time on a Thursday? So we have a couple of people who are in from Santa Fe, and they looked up where to hang out on this Thursday before. It's a wedding that you guys are in town for? Yeah. Just something to do today, just got in, and they found us. So here they are joining us. So we have Simran Raj and Jer from Santa Fe. Can we please welcome them the VTC way? We love you, we appreciate you, and we're so glad you're here. All right, let's give a hand. Whew, so I think maybe people are at home in their air conditioning or something because we have such a tiny but mighty crowd tonight. But here we are at VTC, and you know what? If you guys want to go and sit down in the coolness, feel free because there won't be any music for a while. Thank you. So here we are at the Victoria Truth Center on a Thursday evening, just like we gather on Sunday mornings and for different things here at VTC. We come together to basically remember that there's only one thing going on. And whatever it is that you call that thing, whether you call it spirit, source, energy, the quantum field, God, here at VTC we like to talk about love. And not love as the feeling, not as in relational love, but love as in the pure essence of being, the very foundation, the very beingness and inception of everyone and everything. This is what we're here to celebrate. This is what we're here to remind ourselves of. This is who and what we are. And so when we come together to experience this music, to come together and meditate, we're coming together not just to remember, but to be that love, to show up as that love for each other, for ourselves, for our world. And so our theme for this month is love, because love is actually one of our values here at VTC. And we have an affirmation to go with this value, this theme, so that we can anchor ourselves in the month in knowing that love is our true nature, that love is who and what we are, that love is what we're all about. And that affirmation is, I embody love freely, fully, and authentically in every breath, choice, and experience. And so how's that sounding for folks right now? I'm seeing some nodding heads and some beautiful hands and some silent clapping. All right. Well, is there anyone who has anything that they would like to share into community about love? What it means for you? How does it feel to be love? To express as love? How do you show up as love in life? I bet there's one person who has something. Stephanie's always good for a share. All right, and I'm just very aware with this super long cord, which is great, and I don't want anything to fall. There you go. You're welcome.
Hi, everyone. Well, John and I were just sharing about that meditation, and it actually, like, the experience for me was like pure love. Like I was just, and we were talking about the difference between being in the flow and resistance. And what it makes me think about is my son, who's 13, turning 14. And it's been a challenging time for him in school. And as I was doing the meditation, I was thinking about the difference between when I'm present with him and when I've got something running in my head about how it should be or how, you know, what we should be talking about. And I just, as I read that again tonight, I just got so present to when I'm present, that is love expressed. Like it was just so, yeah, it was just like this, well, your word, intertwinklement.
Intertwinkle, yeah.
And so that's what that brought up for me. And then to notice when I'm resisting something and then I'm not love. Like it just feels so different. And we were talking about, wouldn't that be great to walk through life all the time, just being in the flow of that love. Anyway, That's what came up for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. And as I'm listening to you talk about that, as I'm also noticing myself tuning into the fan at the back, is there a way to turn it down just a notch? Maybe put it, there's a second one. You guys can like put it at your feet to also, keep you cool, because I know it's really hot here. But it just makes me appreciate so very, very much the opportunity that we have every single Thursday to hear the Elevate Trio, to be immersed in their gift of artistry and presence and love, and knowing that no matter what's going on for me, I just get to tune in like immediately as soon as they start to play. And part of it also has to do with not just the amazing music, but the connection that Pablo and Peter and Kelby share, because you guys have been playing for so long. You're like one organism in 3 parts that's just, vibing. So what a gift and a blessing. Thank you. And so speaking of gift and blessing, what a gift and a blessing it is to be here in this space, on these lands, the territorial lands of the Lekwungen people, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, and knowing that this land has been stewarded for so very long with such care, with such intention, with such love. And so what a privilege and honor it is to be here right now, to be able to experience this community, to be able to be immersed in this incredible soundscape and gift of beauty every single Thursday. What a gift, what a blessing, what a privilege. Haichka. Okay, so as we continue through the month, I'm just going to invite us all to lean into this affirmation, to lean into our theme and value of love, and to just notice, be curious about how love is informing our life, how maybe presence, from the meditation, whatever it is that is going on for you, how you are being stirred, how you are being activated, and then how that stirring or activation informs your life from one now moment to the next. All right, so for those from Santa Fe who haven't been here before, this is a new incarnation of an event that we have had for over 2 years. And so we switched from a Wednesday to a Thursday night a couple of months ago. And one of the new components that we began to include is to focus on a book, to be inspired by a book. And the very first book that I chose is one of my favorites. It is The Alchemist. And this is a book that I have been reading on and on, or not on and off, but every summer, 1, 2, maybe 3 times for about 8 years. And so it was going to be time to start reading this anyway, but I thought, oh my gosh, this would be such an amazing book to share. I've wanted to do a book study on it for so long. And so every week we are going through 10-ish or so pages. We could go faster, but there's just so much in every single little chunk. And so where we left off last week was the boy and the Englishman had met, and they were getting ready to go and travel on this caravan that was going to take them to the oasis. And this was great for both of them because they're both following their personal legend. The boy finally decided that he was going to not go back to Spain and be a shepherd again. He said he can do that later, but that it really felt so important, like a call on his heart, on his soul, to go and do whatever this dream was trying to inform him of. And the Englishman is someone who is trying to become an alchemist. And so after decades and millions of hours of study and tons of time and energy and money and all that kind of stuff, they're both now on this journey, on this caravan towards this oasis. And they're actually starting to learn things from each other. So where the boy has had more of a sort of intuitive way of life, and the Englishman has been all about studying and theory and books and reading and all that kind of stuff, now they're starting to sort of learn from each other. And so the boy is thinking about and looking into the Englishman's books. They were strange books. They spoke about Mercury, salt, dragons, and kings, and he didn't understand any of it. But there was one idea that seemed to repeat itself throughout all the books. All things are the manifestation of one thing only. Now I know that this is a book of fiction, But come on, this is what we're talking about every time we come together, that there's only one thing going on. And if there's only one thing going on, it means everyone and everything is that, right? There's no separation. There's no duality. Everyone and everything is this thing, whatever you want to call it, and all of it all the time. And the work that we do is not only to remember that, but to embody it more fully so that we can show up as more and more of that, knowing that there's that in everyone else that at some level is doing the same thing. And so as he's pouring through these books, he's learning about something called alchemy. And the Englishman is so excited to tell him all about this, but what he tells him is that there's this thing called the Emerald Tablet. And the Emerald Tablet is where the information is about alchemy. And so the Englishman is talking to the boy, but the boy's asking him, why do we need all these books if all that information, like the very crux of it, can be written on this one little tablet? So that we can understand those few lines, the Englishman answered, without appearing really to believe what he said. The book that most interested the boy told the stories of the famous alchemists. They were the men who had dedicated their entire lives to the purification of metals in their laboratories. They believed that if a metal were heated for many years, it would free itself of all its individual properties, and what was left would be the soul of the world. This soul of the world allowed them to understand anything on the face of the earth because it was the language with which all things communicated. They called that discovery the master work. It was part liquid and part solid. Can't you just observe men and omens in order to understand the language? The boy asked. You have a mania for simplifying everything, answered the Englishman, irritated. Alchemy is a serious discipline. Every step has to be followed exactly as it was followed by the masters. So when he's talking about how alchemy just is this process of letting go, peeling away all the layers, all the impurities, all of this stuff, isn't that kind of like what we're doing or what we are meant to be doing? All the stories, all the thoughts, all the beliefs, all the roles, all the expectations, all the attachments to the roles and thoughts and beliefs and expectations. What happens when we slowly or not so slowly get rid of those things? We peel away, we let go, we let go, we let go, and eventually what are we left with? We're left with the essence of who we are. There's no lens, there's no worldview anymore, there's just being. And this is what is ours to get back to. This is what is ours to remember. This is what is ours to embody. So as they're talking, as he's pouring through the Englishman's books, the boy is learning about the illiquid part of it, which is the elixir of life. And this is kind of like a cure-all. It's also kind of like a fountain of youth, because once you drink it, once you have it, then you never get old anymore. And there's also the solid part, which is known as the philosopher's stone. And this is the really cool thing where you take a teeny tiny bit of it and put it in a whole bunch of liquid metal, and it turns any kind of metal into gold. And so the boy starts becoming more and more fascinated and starts reading some of these books, starts reading about all of these alchemists that have fulfilled and realized their personal legend by becoming alchemists and having this cool skill of turning any kind of metal into gold. But then as he's thinking about all of this, he's also thinking about how he spent time with the crystal merchant. And there was that time where the crystal merchant made him but he let him, clean the glasses. And even though the boy was like, well, why did you let me do that? And he said, well, you wanted the money and you needed to be able to do some work. But for him, it was because he needed to cleanse himself of impure and negative thoughts, right? So he's thinking about all of this, and then he's realizing, the boy was becoming more and more convinced that alchemy could be learned in one's daily life. And so he goes back to the books, he pours through a whole bunch of stuff, but when it comes down to actually learning how to do it, it gets really confusing and complicated because there's all these weird drawings and obscure texts and bizarre codes that he doesn't understand. And so he goes to the Englishman and says, come on, why do they make things so complicated? And the boy also notices that the Englishman was very irritable because he was missing his books. So that those who have the responsibility for understanding can understand, he said. Imagine if everyone went around transforming lead into gold. Gold would lose its value. It's only those who are persistent and willing to study things deeply who achieve the master work. That's why I'm here in the middle of the desert. I'm seeking a true alchemist who will help me to decipher the codes. And so here we can see there's a huge difference between the boy and the alchemist. The boy, again, is really just sort of going along by faith. He is going along with intuitive knowing and wisdom and trust. And even though he's gone back and forth many times of, I'm just going to go back to what I knew because this is way too expansive and it's too scary and my nervous system is overloaded, the Englishman is like, I got to read the books. I got to spend the time. I got to do the studying. The more I do it, then the more I'll learn, and then the more I'll be able to do it. But for him, it's all theory, 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 theory that's never being put into practice. Whereas the boy is following his intuitive sort of wisdom, but he isn't actually learning any kind of steps along the way about how to do this alchemy thing. And so they're each following their way, and they're watching each other, and they're kind of trying to learn from each other, but they're both getting frustrated. And so one day, the boy returns the books to the Englishman, and the Englishman's super excited, thinking, oh, you know, this kid has gone and read a whole bunch of my super precious, amazing books. He's going to know all this stuff. He asks him, did you learn anything? And the boy tells him, I learned that the world has a soul, and that whoever understands that soul can also understand the language of things. I learned that many alchemists realized their personal legends and wound up discovering the soul of the world, the philosopher's stone, and the elixir of life. But above all, I learned that these things are all so simple that they could be written on the surface of an emerald. The Englishman was disappointed. The years of research, the magic symbols, the strange words, and the laboratory equipment, none of this had made any impression on the boy. His soul must be too primitive to understand those things, he thought. He took back his books and packed them away again in their bags. Go back to watching the caravan, he said. That didn't teach me anything either. The boy went back to contemplating the silence of the desert and the sand raised by the animals. Everyone has his or her own way of learning things, he said to himself. His way isn't the same as mine, nor mine as his. But we're both in search of our personal legends, and I respect him for that. And so they continue going on their way, and by this point, the caravan is traveling by day and by night, but because there is this threat of war, because there are bandits around, they have to be more and more careful as they go, making less and less noise. Finally, they're not lighting any fires, they're hanging out in the dark at night, and any sound is starting to freak the people in the caravan out. But by this point, the boy has also made really good friends with the camel driver. And so one night, they're sitting there, and he's noticing that the camel driver isn't stressed out about all of these sounds or how everybody else is freaking out. And he asks the camel driver, you know, how is this? How are you feeling okay, not freaking out? And so what the camel driver tells him is, I don't live in either my past or my future. I'm interested only in the present. If you can concentrate always on the present, you will be a happy man. You'll see that there is life in the desert, that there are stars in the heavens, and that tribesmen fight because they are part of the human race. Life will be a party for you, a grand festival, because life is the moment we're living right now. And so this is another part of the alchemy, right? Because how often do we get so distracted by whatever is going on around us, by the thoughts that we're thinking about what is going on around us, instead of just being curious and noticing, but continuing to shift our attention to who and what we truly are and what we are truly capable of. We can get so pulled out all the time. We can even get pulled out by our own thoughts, our own beliefs, the stories that we are telling, and those attachments that we have to whatever it is that we've gone through up until now. So he's thinking about all of this. The caravan keeps plodding along. Everybody's being really careful. And then one night, they get to a spot, and the boy looks out in the distance, and it looks like the stars are actually falling down onto the sand. And the camel driver tells him, that looks that way because that's the oasis. And the boy's like, well, why don't we go there right now? And he's like, well, because right now we have to sleep. So talk about being present, right? The boy awoke as the sun rose. There in front of him, where the small stars had been the night before, was an endless row of date palms stretching across the entire desert. "We've done it," said the Englishman, who had also awakened early. But the boy was quiet. He was at home with the silence of the desert, and he was content just to look at the trees. He still had a long way to go to reach the pyramids, and someday this morning would just be a memory. But this was the present moment, the party the camel driver had mentioned, and he wanted to live it as he did the lessons of his past and his dreams of the future. Although the vision of the date palms would someday be just a memory, right now it signified shade, water, and a refuge from the war. Yesterday, the camel's groan signaled danger, and now a row of date palms could herald a miracle. The world speaks many languages, the boy thought. Short section this week because the next section is really long. So anyway, the title of my talk today is based on this alchemizing process that the boy is realizing can be learned in every moment and every day. The alchemy of living. And so if we take a look at these 4 very precious bottles, they have very good precious labels on them. And so the first one is, when everything is stripped away, we're left with the essence of being. That's bottle number 1. Because there's only one thing going on, all is connected, and there is a language that interconnects everything because everything is the manifestation of this one thing only. So there's the one thing potion. There is power and peace in living in the present moment, because when we live in the present moment, even when there are things vying for our attention, trying to distract us, then we are focusing on who and what we are. We are approaching life and showing up, experiencing life as that, rather than from the circumstances that we are experiencing. And the last one is your path. Your path is your own. Nobody can live your life for you. You can't live anyone's life or travel anyone's journey for them. And so the alchemy of living is to intentionally, constantly strip away everything distracting us from more fully embodying our truth, living in the present moment, and honoring our path while allowing everyone and everything else to do the same. Thank you, and so it is. All right, so now it's time for some conscious connection. And so if you would like to, now is an opportunity to get into little groups of 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know how it's going to work. There aren't that many people. But if you would like to have a conversation and unpack a bit of what it is that you just heard, whatever it is that's present and alive for you right now, anything that you're experiencing about tonight, then just find someone nearby that you think you might want to connect with for about 10 minutes, and I will ding the meditation bowl when it's time to come back. Thank you. And if you don't, that's totally okay too. There is an interactive table, tea and water to be had, and it's a nice night outside. 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning. All right, everyone, thank you for your attention and engagement. The You Are Beautiful blessing box is making its way around the room. Please help yourself to a affirmation, a blessing, a little pick-me-up, and add to your collection, those of you who come here on a regular basis. All right, so I'm now seeing what that curtain is doing, and even though it's like such a huge difference, I'm still slightly blinded by the light, but it's so much better. Okay, so tomorrow is the Kelby. Tomorrow is the launch of a brand new concert series that we're doing here at VTC, The Spirit of Jazz and Soul. And we are welcoming the incomparable Louise Rose, who's going to be doing a solo show from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And so, Kelby, do you want to tell just a little bit more about why the series and who's going to be here and all that kind of stuff?
Sure thing. So we put our heads together on this idea of making this incredible space available to some of the musicians who are currently not working at Herman's, but also to make something unique and magical happen here. So Herman's is our resident club that's closed for maybe 6 or so months. And so I put it out there to the community of musicians and said, hey, this is what we're looking to do. And I looked for musicians who had a sense of the magic and the spirit that happens here that is special and unique to this philosophy, this community, this energy that we're building. And they were all super excited. And so we started it off with the programming with them, as Lesia mentioned, the incomparable. She truly is. She accompanied Ella Fitzgerald as her rehearsal pianist for a time. She was a student of Oscar Peterson and of Duke Ellington, also of the original Porgy from I Love You Porgy that Gershwin wrote the role to. That was her vocal teacher, Miss Todd Duncan. So she studied with Jobim, Antonio Carlos Jobim in Brazil. I don't know how she has done so many things. She was also a Raylette with Ray Charles, a backup singer for Ray Charles. She was at Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life recording session. It was like just hanging out. She's had a really fascinating history. She was also a motorcycle cop in Philly until she got shot. She's also done 240 skydives. Anyways, she's a fascinating lady. And never mind, I'll tell you more some other time. She's fabulous, but for me, she does not differentiate between, so she's also a Baptist minister, but she does not differentiate between performing and what for her is church. So it's all the same. It is what it is, and music is the medium that she works in most commonly. So she's a vocalist and a pianist and a storyteller, and I have no idea what she'll do other than that it's Juneteenth, so she will do something around. That's the official last day of emancipation happened in the U.S. earlier on paper, but not really until Juneteenth, and when word got round eventually. And so she celebrates that. It's also the inauguration of the Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. Louise is also a big basketball fan, so that's something that's special that is happening. So that will be wonderful. And then the next one, on the 26th, we welcome the incredible Peter Dowse, who has toured the world playing Motown, R&B, soul, Latin music, everything you can imagine. He will be here as a guest bass player with a wonderful band called Soul Intention, which is a soul and Motown band of some young cats and some old cats. So come on out and bring your dancing shoes. More to come as we continue.
All right, fantastic. And can I just say, I am loving how the sun is just naturally spotlighting you right now as you're talking about this. That's so great. All right, so $20 suggested donation, like crazy, like donation fee suggested to be able to see these incredible musicians here every Friday night starting tomorrow until August 14th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. So if your wedding isn't happening tomorrow and you want to come back, welcome back. All right, so happening on Saturday, June 27th and Saturday, July 11th, our very own Bill Geimer is doing a really cool workshop based on his book called Love, Oneness, and Radical Inclusion. And it's going to give us a completely different perspective on the gospel, the stories from the Gospel of John, and understanding of Jesus, and maybe what we have come to think and know, but he's going to be like, nope, it's all different. And the question he's asking is new thought, new Christianity? So that's by donation, $10, and all proceeds are going to the UN High Commission on Refugees and World Beyond War. It is important to register with Bill. There are posters on the wall and on the door, and for any events, you can always go to the events page on the website and just click on the event you're interested in, and all the information will be there. The Canadian New Thought Conference is happening in Nanaimo the weekend of September 18th to 20th, and the early bird pricing of $2.99 for the entire weekend ends this month, at the end of this month. Now, I am going to announce that the board has decided to offer 3 scholarships to members who are interested in going. We don't quite know how we're going to do it yet, but we're going to offer that if maybe cost is a barrier. We're also talking to people in Nanaimo at Unity to see if there's anyone who is available to billet people so that you don't necessarily have to pay for accommodation. So there's all things in the works to support as many of our VTC members to go up for this incredible experiential weekend, which is going to have lots of music, lots of experiential stuff, a panel discussion. I'm going to be doing 90 breath work throughout the weekend, and it's all about cultivating and celebrating resilience in uncertain times. All right, anybody here have something that they would like to invite people into, aside from our amazing So Jazz series that's starting tomorrow night? No. Woohoo! All right, well then it's time to close. Before we do that, it's not time to close. Before we do that, it is time to bring out the Abundance Bowl. And so last week, I talked about this new exciting venture that we are involved in, the Spirit of Giving Challenge. And basically what it means is every time you give to VTC, your name goes into a draw. 1 month, every single month, we pick 2 people, one from Elevate, one from Celebrate, and those people get to decide where VTC tithes and donates money to the following month. So we had a winner 2 times this month. It was Mr. John Hutton. And so John already chose one organization, and maybe it'll be a second, or maybe they're going to get all the money. But the super cool thing is that John has decided he wants to donate to this organization that inspires him, and VTC is going to match that donation. So this is how we're building community together. And then what's also going to happen is we're going to invite someone from the organizations that get donated to come and talk to us on a Sunday at Fellowship Sunday so that we can learn about their organization and we can meet each other and support each other as we build community together. So Spirit of Giving Challenge, give in love. It's about inspired generosity. VTC matches the donation. It's investing in community, nurturing connection, and growing together, which is all about giving. So speaking of, the Abundance Bowl is going to come around. I am offering my donation for tonight because I feel inspired every time we come together by these guys, by you guys, by what it is that we're doing here at VTC. So I am so, so very, very grateful. And if you aren't able to give something physically, then I invite you to just hang out with the Abundance Bowl for a few moments and offer an intention for prosperity, for community, and for love. All right, here it goes. And if you do use the credit card machine, which is in there, please write your name on the back if you would like to be credited for that donation. Now it is time for some music to just be played a little bit while the Abundance Bowl goes around. Any events you're interested in, go to the events page on the VTC website and find out more. Elevate Trio, Mr. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Dowse on electric bass, and Kelby MacNayr on drums. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you to the Elevate Trio. I also want to thank our tech team for tonight, Danny and Isabel in the back. I want to thank our greeter for today, moi, but also Stephanie, because Denise is on holiday, and so she's not with us tonight. I want to thank everyone who showed up today, whether in person or online. Without you, there would be no community, and there would be no one to receive the gift that is being offered here every single Thursday. And I also want to say a special thank you to our new friends from Santa Fe, who apparently go to a Unity in Santa Fe. So new thought people, right? So so thank you for stopping in today. It was really nice to have you with us. And that's it. So I actually am going to hand this over to my husband, and I'm going to invite everyone to stand on up. We're going to sing our closing tune by the fabulous Ginger Coyle, who was here last summer for a super amazing concert. Have you guys seen her by any chance? Do you guys know who she is? Yeah, such a great, great artist from New Jersey. Oh, all right, so you guys have the yellow part. There's a lot of words to this. Don't feel like you have to sing along with them. They're just there for you to see. But when the yellow part comes, then yeah, please join in. Everybody's waiting on a revolution they've developed from illusion. I think first it's gonna take a revelation, shift their minds and consciously awaken to the positivity human beings should be, full of love and light and inner peace. Vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, higher, higher. I was young, I looked for love in places, got myself into some situations. Now I've grown, I know my past does not find me, and all the love I could ever need is here inside me. Took so long for me to see it was waiting here for me. The love, the life, the inner peace. Vibrate to a higher frequency, higher, higher, higher. Walk the earth in search of every explanation, but be aware of your own creation. Take responsibility for your conditions, and don't forget the power of your own volition. There is joy, there is pain. They are one and the same. It's a choice you choose to make. Vibrate to a higher frequency. All right, everybody, dance party. Bless your neighbor for the week. Guys ready? you take it higher? All right, here we go. I am love. I am light. I am in a peace. You are love. You are light. You are in a peace. We are love. We are light. We are in a peace. Be the love. Be the light. Be the inner peace. Woo! Higher, 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 be the light, be the inner peace. Woo! Woo! The Elevate Trio, everyone. Pablo, Peter, Kelby, VTC Community Choir in the seats. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. We are so glad you're here. We will see you next week, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.